Does that feel good on your back? You like scratching on the carpet? Do I see one more spot on your belly? No? It's the same number of spots? I could have sworn. There's one more. Freckles. You're missing one of your fangs. Oh, you poor thing. Hi everyone, good morning. We're just out taking our morning walk. Really nice weather. Yesterday was a brutal one. I was out putting the new batteries in the truck, and I don't know how many bottles of water I drank, but it was quite a few. But a lot of sweating yesterday. I received an email from the website from a viewer, and he had some questions, and I started, typing a reply to him, and I said, let me answer these questions for everyone, because they were poignant, and I think, especially right now, I think they were really relevant to what's been going on with me, with what's going on in the country. And so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to share some of my thoughts with everyone. But all of you that send me messages, emails, you can use the contact us form on the website. That's an easy way to get a message to me. So the first question he asked, and I'll read it here: after traveling and living the ambo life, do you ever have regrets of making the choice to sell your home and go for it? And that's a big question. I mean, the quick and easy answer is, yeah, there are times that I do regret my decision. Just like any decision that you make, you might have times when that decision might seem like it wasn't the best. Second guessing yourself. And I'm guilty of that, and that's a big question. What I mean is, it has wide-reaching ramifications. Because if I said that 100% yes all the time, I regret it, so what's the solution to that? That's a huge undertaking to solve that mistake. That would mean, totally reverting back to a house, full-time job, all of those things that were our past life. So I feel like I can't say 100% yes, I regret it. There are moments when I miss our house. I miss my 66 Mercury. That was a hobby I had. That my buddy Tim and I used to fiddle around on that thing all the time on the weekends, and I miss that. But I'll tell you, as soon as I start having those feelings of that I miss those things, I really quickly remember that to have those things, what it meant. How was I able to have the house and the hobby car and the motorcycles and the mini bikes and all that stuff? How was I able to do all that? And that meant, of course, that I had to work a full-time job. So I hope I'm explaining that right. I remember, and I know that the only way that I had the house, and the only way I could have all that is that I would be working a full-time job. And so when I take that thought path in my mind, that really quickly shuts down the missing. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, I still miss some of those things, but the cost to have all of those things, I wasn't able or I don't know the right phrasing here. I was not willing to pay the cost to have all that stuff. And I don't mean money. I mean the cost of my life, the work, the stress that went along with the work. That price for me was pretty high. And so when I go down that path in my mind, I say, boy, I miss the house and I miss the car. If I want to go back to that stuff, this is what I would have to do. And that price was just so high and not something that I felt like I could keep doing. So to answer that question, do I have regrets? I wouldn't call it regrets. I would say that I miss some of the things that we used to have and we used to do. Now, saying that, those things that we used to have and we used to do, they've been replaced with other things that we have and things that we do. So just like, I remember back, I miss my 1978 YZ125 I had when I was 15. But that was a different part in my life. So you can miss things, but not regret your decision to not have them anymore. So I have like a good kind of missing of the house and the Mercury and the mini bikes and stuff. I'm really happy that I had that stuff. It would be neat to have it again, but it's not devastating to not have that. I feel like that was that part of my life, and now I'm living a different part of my life. So I fondly miss those things. But I don't regret not having them. Because I think about this too. Here's the thing. If I decided that, gosh dang it, I can't do this anymore, I've got to go back to it. I can go back to that life. If I decide that this is a catastrophic failure, I can go and I can get employment and I can get a place to live and get a car. I can do all that stuff again. So it's not like my decision and the way we're living right now, it's not like that is a finite end-all decision. It's just what we're doing right now. This is the way we're choosing to live right now. But it doesn't mean that that's the way we're going to be for the rest of our lives. It's just how we are. It's how we are right now. And that, having that in my head, that's kind of a comfort that, no matter how things go now, and if things go totally bad and we just can't do this anymore, that there's an alternative. It's not like we have to live this life or nothing else. There are options. And knowing that if I decide that I miss having a house and those trappings so much, that I can always go back to that if I decide to. That's not off the table. So I don't have regrets. To answer his question directly, no, I don't have regrets. I'm living a different part of my life that has different beautiful, great moments, different challenges and struggles, just like anything in life. And I'm glad that I'm able to experience what we're doing right now. I think that if I hadn't decided to make, a change and do what we're doing, it's kind of a bucket list kind of thing. Once your eyes are open to the fact that you can travel around in a truck and play with your dog all day, as opposed to going to work all day, once you are aware that that's an option, for me anyways, that kind of stuff like gnaws at me, and like it turns into like a bucket list thing. So I'm really happy that I made the decision I did. Ooh, we're getting hammered on with these deer flies. Gosh, I hate these things. They're on my head right now. Come on, Left, let's get out of here. Come on, come on. God, I'm getting hammered. These things are incessant. There's certain areas around here that they just attack you, and they're relentless. See, they're starting to set up for the July 4th here. And we are not gonna wrap up around every single pole. Come this way. Back when we first went on the road, all of you, you know that probably our first year of traveling was not comfortable and was not great. And I'll bet you, well, I know that during that time period, I had the most thoughts of regret and, you know, what have I done kind of thing. And so that first year of traveling, I'm gonna say the first year that was not as comfortable, those were when I had the most second guess and regrets, because living in the house and all that was still so fresh in my mind. You know, it was really easy to compare everything I was doing to my previous living, because it was, you know, it was just right then. We had just made the change. As time has gone on and we've gotten more comfortable, and the house and all that has, you know, become farther and farther away from recent history, it's a lot easier to stop comparing everything to what it was like before. You know, the memories of the house and all of that. It's way less fresh now than it used to be. So no, I don't regret it, but I'll say that if I wasn't like such a stubborn kind of pig-headed person, I could have given up during that first year. But I thought to myself that it wouldn't have been fair to me to give up without giving it a real try. You know, we were comfortable in our house with the cars and all the trappings because we had all the time and the resources to develop all that and set it all up and make ourselves comfortable. And you can't really, I didn't feel like it was fair to compare that to jumping in an old ambulance, living off MREs, no hot water, no heater. It wasn't fair to compare the comfort of the house to that kind of bare bones start that we had in the rig. It wasn't apples to apples. So I stuck with it, you know, version 2 of the truck, version 3, version 4, making it more and more comfortable so that the comparison is a little more level. Obviously still not like having a house and all that, but you know, I have a lot of the same creature comforts that we had back then. And so I think it's more fair now to do a comparison. It's a comfortable living, it's just not the same as being in the house. It's comfortable, but not the same. My definition of comfort has changed quite a bit. There's really something, it's hard to describe the feelings. The moments that we have, I feel like are so much grander now. You know, the standing out and looking over a farm field of cows out in the middle of Kentucky. That's, you know, that kind of moment. Or being able to pull in off the road and set up for the evening, cook a meal, click on the TV, you know, drown out the outside noise and be really comfortable basically anywhere you decide to pull over. Those moments are fantastic. And they're a lot different than the good moments that we had back living in the house. You know, we had good moments back then, but they were on a smaller scale, I feel like, than our good moments are now. Now, the converse of that is your bad moments can be a lot grander too. You know, if you have a bad moment, you get sick when you're out there in the rig, you know, if you have a mechanical breakdown, those kind of bad moments can be on a lot larger scale also. You just do everything you can to set yourself up so you're not having those kind of bad moments, right? Hear that dog barking? This dog, I think every day it's like gonna have a heart attack. Hey. Yeah. I feel so bad for that guy. That dog is just so spastic. And this is Lefty. Now, Jeff's second question was, am I or do I ever grow tired of life on the road? So when we are out on the road, I guess I don't want to say I don't have the time to be tired of what we're doing. It just doesn't come up. You know, stuff we do every day, planning stuff, fiddling with the truck, hanging out with friends. So the tiredness, it doesn't really rear its head. Now, but don't get me wrong, there are times when, you know, I just have that feeling, just like anybody has. But I'll tell you, it's 1/100th of having that feeling like I used to have back working and in the house. That was a pretty common, like, just a frustrated, I'm shot kind of feeling. I'm worn out. That used to happen quite a bit for me. That doesn't anymore. Now, when we got back to New York this time, and you know, went through some medical stuff and just wasn't having a little great stretch there. And when I got here, you know, it took me a few weeks to really kind of get my head back in gear. I talked about this in another video. That made me realize that being out on the road and everything that we do is tiring. I wasn't allowing myself to unwind from that. You know, I got back here and my focus was, you know, medical things, working on the truck, and trying to jump into all of that. And I just couldn't get myself in gear. And I came to the realization that was because I was shot. I was tired from the traveling. You know, we were out on the road, I think about 8 months in total. And, you know, that's an overall tiring thing to go through. I wasn't feeling that when we were doing it, but I realized it once we stopped, once we came off the road. I had a realization that, you know, that really does take a toll on me. I just don't feel it, you know, every day kind of thing. It's a cumulative toll. And I'm okay with that, you know. Come on, pup. Oh, don't be moping. Come on. What? You're such a good, pretty boy, aren't you? Okay. Hey. Okay. Yeah, it's not hot like it was yesterday. Yesterday you were chugging water all day. Just like me. Okay. That's a boy. Hold on. Oh boy. It's time. This one's wearing out. These seem to last about 2 years. You know, we do not treat these things kindly. And, you know, one thing I can say is these have never worn out. And, you know, that's a lot of pulling goes on there. The stitching is really heavy duty. It's double stitched. We've never had one of these break. Is this the third one of these harnesses we've had over all the years? And they usually last, you know, 2 to 3 years, and then we replace them. So it's in Lefty's list on Amazon. If you look at Lefty's gear, it's a rough wear. I think his is a medium size. They come in different sizes, different colors. So that's in Lefty's on Lefty's gear list. So just like anything you do in life, it can become tiresome. You know, was working my job every day tiresome? Heck yeah. I mean, brutally tiresome. Beat down, tiresome. I don't have that. You know, I think when we're out in the rig and doing what we do, I don't have time to be tired. You know, it's not strong enough of a feeling to overtake me. You know, I'm doing our daily stuff and satisfying days, end of the day, you know, climb up in the rig and dinner time and all that. I don't have time to be tired. If I was feeling that way, it would overtake me, and that doesn't happen. But it is a cumulative effect, like I said, something I didn't realize until just this past time of coming off the road. We're out of battery, so we're gonna pick this up later. It's kind of hiding in here out of the wind. Being tired on the road, it did lessen over time the feelings of, you know, like I'm gassed. The more comfortable I made the truck, the better I got at surviving, the less and less of that I felt. You know, having the truck set up in a way that allows me to do all the things that I want to do definitely eases my mind. You know, when we first went on the road, I didn't even have the solar system. I didn't install that until, what, 3 months in? So the first 3 months were running my WEN generator. I tell you, that's when I could have used like a power station so that I would have power overnight without sucking the batteries down. And speaking of power stations, y'all remember we did a giveaway for an OUPES power station and solar panels? Well, they've sent me another power station, quite a bit bigger than the last one. We're going to take a look at it, and then we're going to give it to one of you. Yeah, this is a big one. User manual, power supply for charging, and a 12-volt adapter if you want to charge off your cigarette lighter. This is their highest power. This is their 1800 watt power station. 3 AC outlets, 2 quick charge USB-A, 60 watt USB-C, 10 amp 12 volt barrel plugs. Here's your inputs for charging, and a 12 volt cigarette lighter style adapter. You have that same LED kind of a ambient light bar. When I built my truck 3 years ago, the only way to get really big, good solid power was doing solar panels or having a generator, you know, a gas or diesel generator. Well, battery technology has improved so much over the years, and these type devices are becoming a viable alternative to having a hardwired installed system. Let's see if it'll run the air conditioner. It's running it. Outstanding. And one of the new features they have on this unit, you can plug in 2 AC wall adapter chargers and cut your charge time in half. That is a really cool feature. You got to buy the second one, the second charger. It comes with one, but if you want to add double the charging speed, get a second AC adapter and you can plug it in right there. Now, if you'd like to be the new owner of this 1800 watt power station, put the keyword OUPES, O-U-P-E-S, down in your comment. We're going to do a drawing on July 15th. I'll announce the winner in a video on July 16th. So down in the comments, OUPES, click the link, go over to their site, check these things out, use my coupon code for 10% off. Thank you, OUPES, for supplying this for all of us to take a look at. Let's get back to the video. So another question that Jeff had was, do you think, considering all going on in the world, that ambulances will return to pre-COVID prices? The price increase for ambulances started before COVID. There's a lot of people, scrupulous and unscrupulous, that realized the popularity of ambulances was really climbing, and so they started buying and selling them, and the prices started to go up. You know, as soon as a used ambulance that's 20 years old sells for $15,000, well, that sets a bar. And then the next one can be 17, and then 18, and then 20, and, you know, here we are. I don't think ambulances are ever going to go back to what they were like 3 to 4 years ago. Now, there are still rigs out there that can be bought for good prices. They're just a lot less frequent than they used to be. I I think the days of, you know, rigs like mine being bought for $6,000, I'm not saying it still doesn't happen, but it'd be really unusual nowadays to find one for that cheap. When you come across a rig and it's one of those too good to be true, it's too good to be true. It's more than likely a scam. Please don't get suckered into putting any money down on a rig unless you have some kind of recourse if it goes bad. I'm a person that I did put a deposit down on my rig. I talked to the guy on the phone. Phone conversation matched the email conversations we had already had. I determined he was a real guy. He really had the rig for sale. He had a lot of information, and I sent him a $500 deposit before I went down there to buy it. I hope that everyone's deals can go just like that. You know, I've said this before, when you're buying a used rig, you've got to rely on your gut and your instinct to be able to ferret out the bad actors in the ambulance selling market. I don't want to see anyone get taken for their money, because when you decide to go ahead and pull the trigger and buy a rig, it's a very exciting time. It can be stressful finding the right one, and when you think you've landed on the right one and you're ready to put some money on it, the worst thing that could happen is that somebody suckers you out of your money. I don't want to see that happen to anybody. We all work really hard for our money, and to part with it and get nothing in return, you know, unacceptable. So Jeff, I hope that answered your questions, and I hope that those of you that are watching this video kind of get an idea of what it's been like for us. I try to always share how I've been feeling as we've gone along here for the last 3 years. I always want to share that with everyone because it's a real, it's you know, I say the word journey. It is. It's an emotional, mental, physical journey. Challenges along the way, great times along the way, different from living in a house, but has some challenges just like that did, but it has a lot of really good times that really overshadow the good times we had back in the house. They're just on a grander scale now. They really are. So your peaks are way up here, but like I said earlier, your valleys can be way down here. So you do everything so that you never go into those valleys, those low points. That's how things have gotten better over the years, is we've gotten rid of those low points. So we're always up here. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. Everybody take care, be safe. We'll see you again really soon. Dude, what are you doing up in here? Hanging out? I just had oatmeal with a bunch of fruit in it, so if you see anything stuck in my teeth, give me a break. Come on, Left. Come on, buddy. Come on, Left. Come on. Oh, it's attacking. It came at him. Okay, Left. Come on. Oh. Okay. I know, buddy. I know. Come on. Come on. Left. Come on. Pause video. Lefty, that's the third one this morning, dude. What's creeping through your gut?